Hunting, self-defense, war, revolt, liberty. All these things are associated with the use of guns throughout American history. I'm going to inform you on the guns that have been used throughout American history. If you already know a lot about guns, this speech is going to give you more information about how they've been applied and used throughout American history. Even if you have no interest in firearms, they've had a significant impact on the forming of America, and therefore they most likely had a significant impact on you. I've always been interested in guns, and it's been something I've really cared about, but particularly I've been very interested in how they've been used throughout American history. In preparation for the speech, I've looked at books, articles, and first-hand experiences to help give me more information on this topic. Today I will share first the guns used in the 1700s, the 1800s, and the 1900s. So first, the 1700s. So the first gun I'm going to talk about here is the Kentucky Long Rifle. So this was originally invented by Swedish and German immigrants in 1730. The big difference between this rifle and rifles in the past is that it now had a much longer barrel, and it now had rifling. So what this meant is that whoever was using it could now shoot at much farther distances, and this was extremely unheard of at this time. It was really significant change in what the firearm was capable of. In fact, in a 1924 book titled The Kentucky Long Rifle, Captain John G.W. Dillis said, "Light in weight, graceful in line, economical in consumption of powder and lead, fatally precise, distinctly American. For 100 years, it was a model often slightly varied, but never really changed." And so here's a visual aid of what the Kentucky Long Rifle looked like. I can see here it had a much longer barrel than rifles in the past, and also on the inside of the barrel had a rifling, which meant that it could shoot much farther distances, and it helped the bullet to stay much more flat during that time it was being fired. So for the use in war throughout American history, the Kentucky Long Rifle saw a majority of its use in the Revolutionary War, and it had really big impacts on this because it allowed American soldiers, who were the main people using them at the time, to shoot at very far distances, which had a very big impact on warfare at the time and what was possible and what soldiers could do in a fight. So the next gun from this era is the Brown Bess flintlock musket. So the Brown Bess musket was originally invented in 1722. It did not have one single creator necessarily. It was more of an adaptation of past muskets. It didn't really have anything significant about it. Unlike the Kentucky Long Rifle, it didn't have the long barrel or the rifling, so it wasn't quite as efficient as that gun was. However, it did still see a lot of use in war by both the Americans and the British, since it was a standard duty rifle at this time. So next, I'm going to talk about the 1800s.